Hello and welcome back to episode 6 of Keeping It Real with Strix. Go ahead and fly over and get this. I think I do have enough hydrogen to easily make it over there and back. If I don't make any more mistakes, like, turning around to look at my base while I'm flying. Starting to question that though, already at 70%. Looks like I might be on foot from here unless I want to risk not being able to get back. A little bit of a hard landing, but that's fine. It happens, So, at least it's less than a kilometer I have to run. Technically. It's almost 2 kilometers I have to run when you look at coming backwards towards the base. Always look before you leap. But anyway, this should be on the ground definitely by the time I get there. It should actually be on the ground already. So yeah, there's been a lot of love on this series since I started it. Before I started this series, I had 109 subscribers. I now have 176. Thanks for that, guys. I hope that I am keeping everything as entertaining as possible. Let's fly a little bit here. The bouncing is dangerous, but helps cover a little bit of distance quicker. I don't like doing such dangerous things very much, though. Especially when I've got literally just enough hydrogen to fly back across the ice. So I may actually pause this on my run back, because running around is not fun for anyone. But I'm going to be working on finishing the SF15 today. And I double-checked things. I had just grabbed a random number out of my head. I'm like, I think I've gotten somewhere around 15. And yeah, 15 is exactly where it should be. I had numbered it correctly. Okay, so this thing does not want to kick over. It's being very mean to me. And the cargo is on the bottom of it. So let's just grind some stuff away here. And hey, extra steel plates for me to throw on the SF15. Not the jetpack. Keep hitting the wrong keys. No, don't jump up on top of it. Jump into it and knock it over. Sprint. Jump. Wow, this thing is definitely anchored itself in here really well. So the other way is just to slowly grind this, and we now have a small container that pops out when a small grid cargo container is cut. So there we go. And that was more steel plates. I will definitely take them. Oh yeah, now you'll move around easy. You're just messing with my head, aren't you, you machine? But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and pause this up. I'll get back over there and we'll start working on finishing up that SF15 today. Okay, so I'm back at base. Got here with 16% hydrogen left because I did a lot of bouncing, took a little bit more damage because of that. The sun is absolutely going down. Now I put in sleeping through the night on here, so I will have to build either a bed or a cryopod. Beds are much cheaper. But I'll cross that bridge when I get there. For right now, let me go ahead and put some more armor shelling on this. I have an inventory full of steel plates right now, which is 121 that I was able to carry on me. Hopefully that's about what I need for finishing this, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm actually wanting to try armoring it all the way. I rarely do that, or rarely did that. I've been changing my build style a lot, trying to get much better at building. And I feel I've had some luck. I'm not just building boxes anymore. So let's see, and then from here, we want the bottom bit of armor down here, a bit away from everything, give it some dead space. Try to keep an eye on my hydrogen while talking, while flying, and building. There's a lot of things to do at once. Now, originally I was going to put gyroscopes in here, but I decided against that. At the same time, I believe I can actually fit batteries under there to have a little extra battery power on here. Doesn't really matter which ones I put in because I'm just kind of sneaking them under. Yep. So 3 extra batteries put under there. If I do so in the back, I could go for 4. But I think instead I could put an O2H2 generator under there. I need to jump in the cockpit for a moment. And let's just stand here. So I can grab that and put that on the bottom here, and that's going to connect in fine and still be underneath the armor that I'm building for this. Back to page 1, number 4. And since we have a name for it, which I'm about to jump in and put in, I also have color ideas. And I guess I am out of steel plates. Do I have any more in here? 64. But let's go ahead and go into the info. It is the SF15 Mercury. And I'm going to do it as a primary red with green accents. And if I put a gun on there, that will probably be nice chrome looking. And if you have the DLCs for things like the skins, that will allow you to do the chrome that I found, which is using the Retro Future paint. I'm going to go ahead and put some blocks on the sides of this right here. I'll weld those up in a moment. Don't need this. And now I forgot what I was talking about because I distracted myself. Yay, distractibility. I will probably remember in a moment. Okay, so I got a lot of things to build. Gonna need a lot of ore to get that built. So I will have to go mining here soon. This should still be able to carry all of this weight and a full load. Because the way Space Engineers works, when you put in a block, it automatically chooses the weight. And now I remember what I was talking about. For the chrome color, it's just the basic white and the Retro Future, and you wind up with a nice chrome. Very shiny. So yeah, I need to grab these blocks and see how much ore I'm going to need. There, and there. Since I've put component blocks on again. Well, some of that I technically have with steel plates. So I'll just throw all the steel plates in and grab everything I can. I've gotten everything, so put the rest in production and start going. But yeah, once the ship is operational, then I get the refinery and assembler up and running. And then I'll be able to get everything I need for far better tools, so that all the welding is faster. Whoops. Fell in a hole. Let's see. Did I have any steel plates remaining? No. But it's at least making some of my battery parts for me. Really, that's it? Already got that built, okay. So just looking for the battery cells now for that one battery. And I'm going to have to add these to the group, so I'm not actually going to fully weld it up. Just get everything into it, get it built up a bit. And I have cut through all of the iron that I had, so let's go ahead and put that in the assembler just to see how we're doing. So I've got enough iron. It's nickel that it has problems with, so let's move that. And that should handle that. Let me go ahead and 987 undock for a moment and add these to my battery power. And then I don't know if those will switch with me as soon as I reconnect, but let's go ahead and check. Battery power, these are still on auto. So I will put them on recharge, that way they're on the same setting. And there we go. The one battery I have ready, or just about ready. No, it is ready. I can go ahead and fully weld that one up and get it charging. Which, come to think of it, is going to slow down all of my power and everything. So all that we're waiting on now is actually time. I have enough to get all of these on there and completed. So I'm not going to sit here and ramble or make you watch me sitting here looking at nothing. I'm going to go ahead and pause this up, and I'll bring it back when these parts are complete. Okay, so all these parts are finished, and I did a little bit of welding on the top while I was waiting. Get my lights turned on so it's not so dark here. And I guess I shouldn't weld these up all the way because my base's power is already pretty pegged at the moment. So let's just get back to welding here. I do still need to get these 4 down thrusters welded in, but that can wait. Gravity does a pretty good job in the meantime. I only have those there for when I'm banking and turning and such, for the most part anyway. Just a little tap and it goes too far. So once I get the top of this welded up some to where we can see it better, I will fiddle with paint and see what kind of base coat of paint we're going to be going for on it, on the Mercury here. The Tier 1 welder is faster than the basic, but not by much. Really want to upgrade that. I went ahead and cut those out because I am going to put a turret in. Well, let's see. I don't even think this has the Tier 2. It doesn't, so I can't even look to see what I need to upgrade it, because I need a whole new block to upgrade it. Alright, so right here I'm going to need to put some additional armor. I'll come to that in a moment though, when I actually have some steel. So I don't want it to be that bright. Let's use the clean first and see how that looks. That is not too bad. Definitely on the list. I also like the plastic because it's also very clean. Actually, I think, yeah, we'll go with the plastic. So now everything I'm placing, plastic red. I'll get to this portion of the undercarriage once I know better what the shape up here is going to be. Let's see, can I make some steel? I have 10 plates. And not a whole lot of iron. I need to go back out for iron again. Alright, let me check how long I've been recording thus far, because I keep pausing and unpausing. I don't even know how long the video is at the moment. (17 minutes). So that would be a teeny tiny short video. I don't want to do that. Yeah, screw it. Let's go ahead and weld up these batteries. It will absolutely hammer the power on my base, or be used as power on my base. More likely. Because I have a lot of iron that I'm going to have to cut down, because I'm going to go and load this thing up. Still have no landing gear, so it's still going to be hovering over there. And I have 2 hours worth of hover time, which is good. Actually, it doesn't have landing gear, but it does have a bottom now, so I could just set it down gently, because it won't be trying to tip over backwards. Side thrusters are not very powerful at all, but they don't need to be. Back it up just a little bit, and let's take her down nice and easy. And right there, we can turn off the thrusters. Do I have my drill in here? Nope. Well, I'm going to have my drill in here, because I'm just going to put these tools here, because it is no fun getting all the way over here and realizing I don't have a drill. I do have hydrogen on that ship now, so I just have to jump in my cockpit and recharge. Whoa. So the Mercury will definitely be able to be filled with iron now, because I don't have to leave part way through doing it. I do have to wait for it to give me my hull though, which is why it's just so much better to be bringing a ship over. I don't have to wait for the hull to load each and every time. because that's what was happening when I was flying back and forth, and it was terribly annoying, to say the absolute least. This will be much quicker and easier. I also still need to put an antenna on that.
Inventory.
I mean, you can't have a messenger of the gods without a way to send and receive messages.
Inventory full.
And I forgot how close this mine is to the ice
Inventory
on the walls
full.
here. I'm just not even going to turn off my jetpack. I have hydrogen to replace it,
Inventory full.
and it saves time to not bother
Inventory full.
until I lose the exit hole. There we go.
Inventory
And for
full.
those of you who are just joining in the series and don't know how I'm throwing everything away very quickly, if you hold
Inventory
Alt
full.
and middle mouse click, you'll put all ores, ingots, and components that you have into the cargo spaces that can hold them on the grid that you're looking at.
Inventory full.
Very useful for not
Fuel
wanting to waste
low.
time. I can't get to this from the bottom, can I?
Fuel critical.
So make sure I keep enough fuel to get back into the seat. And I might want to build some way to get up onto there in case of not making that mark. But that'll be on the overall outer hull, done at the same time as when I'm putting on all of my running and anti-collision lights and such.
Inventory full.
How is this cargo doing? Alright, so I've barely even dented one of them. This thing carries a great amount of cargo compared to my little nothing self.
Inventory full.
And it really makes me want to set up a mine drill on the front, use it to just grab a bunch of stone,
Inventory full.
because even that would be pretty useful. That being said, the next ship I build is probably going to be a plunge miner, and that was a hard fall. As was that. I'm just beating myself up here. I don't need wolves to show up and come hurt me. I do it plenty well enough on my own.
Full.
The next ship will be some kind of a plunge miner to be able to
Inventory full.
open up large holes into the ground and grab initial bits of ore. And then I will need
Inventory full.
either that or another vessel to also be a horizontal miner to actually get the ore. Because it's not like it shows up in columns going down, it's just large pancakes underground. So, nice plunge miner to open a hole and a horizontal miner to go in and actually get the ore. I can use scripts to automate the mining, but I feel that would be a little cheaty and overboard.
Inventory full.
I can do overboard without feeling cheaty about it.
Fuel low. Inventory full.
Fuel low, so I better jump into the cockpit. Because the second it tells me that, I have just enough fuel to make it. Okay, let's look in here. The connector is being filled up as well. And that's what I'm talking about. It puts it into every container that it can. Like the ice got shoved into the O2H2 generator. 14K iron, that's not too bad. I have almost filled up one of the modular cargo containers.
Inventory.
10,000 liters is pretty nice for a realistic game to have. And I've got 20.
Inventory full.
But this should definitely be enough iron to get a bunch of things done, so turn my thrusters back on. And try and find my way back home with zero visibility and no lights on here yet. That's not dangerous at all. Nope. Perfectly safe. Oh, this is one of those storms that is slowing down my wind turbines. So base has no real power right now, other than what little bit got put in the battery after I left before the storm started. Definitely going to need some lighting solutions over here for moments like this, and for when I'm working through the night instead of sleeping through the night. Man, it's hard to do this when I can't really see. But I think that's it. Yep. 987 to get all that going. Actually, not 9. Need the power right now. So I will leave my batteries on auto. And small cargo. Let's just go ahead and grab all of the iron ore off of the ship and throw it in here along with that ice. Don't need that much ice. Need a ton of iron though. And let's see. I'm not really going to be able to do much else until that iron is completed. But I can come in here and switch around my tools. Grab that little bit of steel. On the back here, kind of want this to slope up, so let's use the 2x1x1 slopes. Okay, there was nothing in that middle bit. I need to weld these up before I hide them, because I'm definitely working towards hiding them. The whole ship isn't going to be red. I have to figure out where and how, but I'm going to do accents of green on it so that the red isn't terribly overwhelming. But the Romans associated with Mercury the colors red and green, which is why I will choose those colors. Colors I rarely use, mind you. I do a lot more purples, whites, and grays. And a lot of black. But that's part of me changing my building style, is trying to actually work in more colors.
Fuel low.
There we go. Stop yelling at me, please. And just let me weld up this stuff. The plastic that sounds like steel and is made out of steel. One of these days I'll have to get back into playing Empyrean, because it actually has plastic and carbon blocks instead of everything having to be steel. That being said, despite being similar games, they're very different games, and this is the one I like most because of all the things I can build. I'm not terribly into building contraptions in the past, but I'm definitely wanting to get into building a few. For the most part, I'm terrified of subgrids. Me and Clang do not have a good history. but I've been getting better at things. I still need to figure out how to make a proper custom turret, so I'll definitely be fiddling with trying to do some of that in this series. Because I'm doing a little bit of that in every series. I'm trying to figure it out. I keep breaking my turrets. Okay, hydrogen is running out. How's that refinery doing? So I just thought of the fact that I can put all of that away, throw this up here, and put the nickel in front of the cobalt. That way it's actually working on the things I need it to work on while I weld down the ship. Which just takes forever. So build and repair makes things lag too much on my computer for some reason. Otherwise, that would be a beautiful thing to have in a game like this, but it's also not terribly realistic at this point in time. We have figured out a lot more about nanostructures and such, but that does not mean we can make nanobots that go out and repair things. The nanostructures we have are like carbon fiber tubes. And overall, the way these batteries are working, these are solid state batteries. Though the Prototech batteries, I think, are also solid state and would be definitely of far higher quality. But, you know, we're getting closer and closer to solid state being viable enough to actually come out on the market for everyone to start playing with. That's going to be amazing. Our phones are going to get even smaller than they already are. They're going to charge faster. You're not going to have to charge it as often. Not sure if any of you look at technologies that we're working on and stuff. I have a tendency of doing so. Find it all fascinating. Let's see if I have enough to get 100 plates. I do. Yay. I don't know. I'm a weird one. That's why I'm building my game Chrono Conquest the way I am. I'm fascinated with where we came from. Paleolithic humans. I'm also fascinated in where we're going. So I'm trying to build a game where I can work on encompassing all of that and having fun with exploring all of that with players. That being said, these are all things I do as hobby. I am not an expert of anything. Jack of all trades, master of bullshit. 34% hydrogen. Can I get this last one? Yeah. So the rear end is taking a little bit of shape, except for the fact that that shape is big and flat. I will figure that out as I'm coming back through and doing finishing touches on everything. Well, all of it's looking pretty flat right now. I haven't put any of the angled blocks in, other than on the rear. And the sides of the flush cockpit. Oh hey look, I don't have to use my hydrogen to stand up here and weld these. So how is that looking? Definitely looking better. So let's see. Put full blocks in right there. And on top of the batteries, that'll be useful. Helps if I have steel. Yay. 100 steel plates. I might get somewhere. Yeah, there's that one more block back there. Got to make sure you have momentum for your jumps. And not too much momentum or that happens. So let's crouch down in here and get these welded up. And that'll allow me to start looking at what angled blocks I can put at least on the nose of the craft. And I just realized I need at least one interior plate, but I'm pretty sure I have those in here. Yep. And that's so I can put a frame over there to hold up the turret that will be going there eventually. Not too much point in putting one there until after I have found magnesium and mined some. That being said, I might actually have the parts get that and these top thrusters finished. And then I just don't have to worry about it. But let's see. I did have the frame on there at one point in time. I just took it off, I guess. How many parts for that can I get? So I am missing a little bit of stuff. Get that going. I've got all of this all welded up, so let's weld up the bottom some. Weird place to start in the middle of the blocks. But whatever. I am a weird guy. Let's go this way instead. It probably has the parts I need to finish that frame. Yep. All components successfully withdrawn. Get this in here. Yeah, it just takes forever to do anything unrealistic. I think I will try setting up tomorrow to do a stream on this. I haven't done a stream before, but I think it could be fun, and this will absolutely lend itself well to streaming because it just takes so long, and I'll be able to have some of you guys in the chat talking with me, and that'll be a lot easier for me to think of what to talk about while I'm welding. Because nobody wants to just see somebody sitting here welding with nothing going on otherwise. That's boring. Especially when there's so much welding to do. Let's see. I am going to have to fold all of this in together at some point. And that's going to be the hard part. That's where you're sitting there looking at your shapes, thinking of what shape you want, and making compromises with what shapes you can do. Or at least that's how it is for me. But I'm not terribly artistically inclined. And to be perfectly honest, doing all the shapes and things on here to build a nice looking ship that's
Fuel
very
low.
artistic based. I'm much better at the logistic end of things. Okay, so everything's recharged. Oh, there is one more thing I want to do. Sadly, I can't put the parabolic antenna on there the way I like to do it on large ships because you don't have the truss blocks for small grid. Otherwise, it would be pointing forward and would look even nicer. But it still looks pretty nice like that. And it looks better than the normal antenna. Get myself healed up here because I keep banging around on everything. And I guess once I get this row, I'll start doing some laying of blocks up here. Because at least some of this I can get done. Go 5, move that around, and then move that around. So that will be an interesting connection point it has back there next to the cockpit, but I don't think it'll look horrible. I'll get these welded up in a moment and we'll see. Just run that all the way down, and then the front end of that slope run all the way down. If I can do so without missing every other block. About to get my hydrogen warning, so let's just kind of hover over the ship itself. And let's weld up a bit of this and see how it looks from the nose. Actually, if I do this row, that'll weld up really fast, and I can handle the slower things afterward. Just double click your welder or grinder or drill to have those just keep doing their thing without you having to hold the button. Lazy tricks are good to know when you're on realistic and having to deal with everything being slower. But yeah, it's not just slower. A lot of the reason why I'm like, I think I've got enough iron to get this done, and then I didn't have enough iron. I'm used to playing on, I think it's ×2 assembler efficiency and ×2 on refinery. So you actually get a bit more out of everything from the refinery at ×2. And it takes less iron ingots to build things in the assembler when it's at efficiency 2. Things like that. I was not aware of that, but now I am. So I'll have to actually make sure each time to mine twice what I think I need, because otherwise I'm only getting half as much as I need. So now that I know that, things will be much easier going forward. And there we go, got that. Yeah, that looks alright. I'm fine with that. That little corner popping up over here, it doesn't look that bad. Especially considering the fact this is going to be going into the nacelle here. The thruster bays, whatever you want to call those. Not quite big enough to be called nacelles, so yeah, thruster bays. And actually, I think this is about the wrapping up period for today. We're almost done with this ship. Let's just go ahead and do a quick experiment though. We've got our red, and I went with a darker red, so let's go with a darker green, also plastic. And how does this look? I'm just going to do next to the cockpit and then go along the edges here. I need to get this block too. This is really hard to get in and do. I have the paint mod on here. I will have to use that. And I missed once, so let's just fix that. Go back to the green. It's okay, I am planning on hitting those as well. And get in here. How's that gonna look? If I go ahead and do my, oh boy.
Fuel critical.
Now this would be bad if I didn't have steel plates on me, because I did not give myself a way up until just now. Let's get down here, crouch so I can see that since I can't fly. There we go. But I still don't want the wolves to have a way up, so I'm just get rid of that. And to make sure that I am set for the future, I'm just going to put a block hanging there that I can cut off and turn into a slope to get up here. Okay, and let's try not to do something so silly again. But yeah, I think that's going to look pretty nice. I'll have also green on the bottom bits here. And I might do a brighter green on the thruster bays. In any case, I think that's today's video. If you enjoyed what we got up to today, go ahead and hit the like button down below. And if you want to see what I'm getting up to next time, there's always that subscribe button. Until next time, have a good one.